Hello everyone and welcome to another Division 2 video. We continue League today with the semi-finals from Division 4 between Dragotango and Solaufein. Two amazing players. Dragotango we still know from the Kingdom of the Noobs. If you have been in there, Solaufein, you might have seen the queue every now and then as well. Both great players, but I feel like both are a little bit out of shape as of recent. At least I haven't encountered either of those very often in tournaments recently or in the queue. I know that Dragotango has been going more towards Warno. So, yeah, I think we're going to have to wait and see how much in shape they still are or aren't. Also, correct me if I'm wrong, both of you, if any of you what happens to watch the video, tell me if I'm completely off here. But anyway, so we are on Orsha North. We do have Dragotango playing Tyurina on balanced income and Solaufein playing Harteneck on Maverick income. Now, before we actually head to the decks though, I do want to quickly advertise the video that I would plan on doing with where we look at viewer decks, so your decks. And it's pretty simple. I made a post. If you go to my channel under community, there will be a post about things that I plan to do in the near future, and it's there for more details. You can also read how you can submit them to me and what I'm looking out for, but the short version is it is for players of all skill levels. There are 4 categories that you can submit. One is just your regular decks as you play them, decks that also your regular decks that you play, but that might be a little bit different from what the majority would build that division like specifically. The third one are tournament decks, but then you need to let me know also the map and the matchup. And the last one is meme builds. You can also submit meme builds and we also take a look at that. But with that, I think we now go to the actual decks from this game. And we start off with Tyurina, a division that I think is decent enough on a map like this, but I just feel like very often there are better picks. But I don't know the band, so it's possible that this is for the allied side maybe. One of the better ones. So, a recon that we do have a BA-10s, some snipers, and then T-34 76s. Oh, that's pretty decent, but of course, no Rozvedkas. And also in the AT tab, we do not get any bazooka units. That's definitely a weakness of this division. We do not have bazookas, and that can be problematic. Now, while Harteneck is not the most light armor heavy division, it still has the support. Panzer Freeze still has some light armor, so this can definitely be problematic. But I guess we're gonna have to wait and see. In Town, we do have a pretty classical build, I would say, for balance, which is still an odd choice in my opinion. For me, this is not really a balanced division. You can definitely it does have the depth in most tabs. The artillery tab kind of sucks, but other than that, I think the depth is okay. But anyway, so we have the Strelki SVT, the Strelki DPs, and some Tankos in A phase together with a leader. Now, odd choice here, in my opinion, is to bring the Tankos in the 50 cal half track. Why? Because it makes the only CC that you have very expensive, actually. Personally, I feel like it is much better to take it with the Strelki SVT actually, because that's still affordable, and then you actually have the half track where you need this half track support anyway. But that's just my opinion. Then in the B phase you have the Strelki DP, some Sturmoviki rocks, and then in C phase you get Strelki DP and Aftos. So quite CQC heavy throughout all the phases, but of course you need that on this map. Tank tab, just T34 spams, we get the 1940 2 and 943 variants, and tons of them in B and C phase. A phase is a little bit weak, maybe. Support tab, flamers, machine gun, and then of course you get the support T4, which is a Panzer 4. This is actually also pretty nice. And commander and ammo AT tab, pretty nice. You have the 45 mils, which are of course fantastic. Some CIS2s and CIS3, nothing wrong against with that. And then SU-85s, which might be needed against the Hetzer. AA tab, 25 mil, which is actually pretty decent. And then the 37 mil, although only at single vet. Artillery tab, 82 mil mortar, 120 mil. I don't think you need that many of them, to be honest. And they are not that good, my personal opinion. And then you get the 122, which is decent enough. Air tab, we have the IL-2KR. This is a pretty nice recon plane. We get the Yak-9T, which is an odd choice because you could bring the Yak-9B bomber or fighter bomber, but this one is actually pretty good. And on top of that, you also have the U2s, but Dragotango decided not to go that far. And I mean, I can definitely respect that. Those are super annoying. So I guess it just couldn't fit them because otherwise you probably would want to take them. And then we have the P3, which might actually be needed because this deck with the SU85s and SD2s has some options, but you might still struggle against those tigers in the center. And on the other side, we do have Harteneck, a division that has been relatively popular recently. I feel like when I'm looking for games, I see it every now and then, for sure. And when I play my own tournament games, it is very often banned or played as well. So definitely pretty solid at the moment. The recon tab, we do have the Aufklärer, the VK9 for some light armor support, and then the Reikosak. It's just a single DP machine gun, you need nothing special there. In the tab, we do have the Stostrup. I'm surprised he brings it, because you have plenty of other CKC options. But I mean, it gives you that rush potential, and now with 8 availability, it's not the most fantastic unit, but it's only 15 point, it comes in fast transports, and you get 8 of them now, so you can really spam them around everywhere. These can be very annoying. Then we have the Reitjäger, which are, I feel like, okay now. Then the Reitjäger MP44, good as always, of course. Leader, and then the 1 card of Panzergren. So not a lot of range, actually. You could, for example, take the Jäger Pioneer or something like that, then you have a hybrid unit, but I guess he decided against that. In B-phase, we have some more Reitjäger MP44. More leaders, interesting choice at double wet. I mean, leaders at double wet is cool. I personally like to have more, but I mean, if with Maverick, 3 would probably do the trick. And then we have the Hungarian light infantry unit that I do not dare pronounce. And then C-phase, we only have the Grenadier DP, which is cheap and spammable, but also not that good. Tank tab, some T-34s in A-phase, Tiger in A and B phase, and then Strix in C phase. It's an interesting choice. So no actual medium tanks in B phase. I mean, he takes the Hetzer for that in the AT tab, I guess. Still a little bit of an odd choice, but it kind of makes sense. Because the Stuka can actually afford with 1 tick of income in C phase, whereas the Jagdpanzer for the AT, the Hetzer, you cannot. Support tab, 50 mil, fantastic unit. This is, of course, not the long range one, but it can still do the trick. Ersatz, this is hard to pass on. It's 20 points for an MG34. Yes, it's disheartened, but still, it slaps. Panzer 3 and support, pretty nice there. Stu42, of course, you all know that. Commander as well, and then the Opel Blitz 2 for some ammo that is, of course, much needed. AT tab, we do have Panzerschreck, the captured SIS 2 with radio, which this thing is absolutely fantastic, especially against a division like Tyurina, where you know that you don't need any heavier AT. You have a pretty cost-efficient tool for the start. It's not only relatively cheap for what it can do, but also having like SAT, but also having a support tool with radio early on that you cannot just easily use as that. If you don't need it for AT, is absolutely fantastic. And then, of course, Hetzers in the B phase. These will be relatively hard to deal with, I feel like. For the Russians, a little bit less, I guess, than Western allies, but still, it can be a pain. And then the A tab, we do have the 20 mil and the SDKF Z1. Interesting to see that he chose not to take the 37 mil that you get now, but in my opinion, with the price reductions, having the 20 mils with the transport is actually an okay choice now. Artillery tab, 81 mil mortars. I'm surprised to not see the 81 mil mortar half track that we see in B phase and A phase, or otherwise the 60 mil, not 60 mil, 75 mil. For 60 points with radio, because this thing absolutely slaps as well. Then off map in B phase as well. Air tab, fighters, a tank buster, and then the HE111. I guess the one with the big boomies. So it's definitely going to be fun to see that. And we are back. So we are on Orsha North. I think we've been on it quite a few times in recent videos. So I keep it very short. We all know it. If blue side is the better side, you can easily rush this at the start, and even if you might not be able to hold it, which you definitely can with the right tools as well, it is just easy flags for grabs relatively early on, and red has either to invest a lot to make sure that this doesn't fall or push somewhere else, but you can't get like 3 flags at once as easily as blue can. This one is a little bit harder to grab, but these two definitely more easy for blue side. Let's quickly go through it. Down south, Solaufein going relatively defensive. We have lots of Stostruppen, but he doesn't use them super aggressively. On the other side, Dragotango deploying. He's deploying defensively, but he has a lot of units there, so he probably plans to push there eventually. on the hill, defensive, just tries to send something in here to grab that. It can definitely be intercepted by anything in here, which we might see. Where's the assets going? It might be able to rush through if it's the flamer, which it is, yeah. And then just some CQC in there as well. Now, going a bit further forward into the center, we do see passive deployments here by Dragotango, defensive ones, and then, of course, a very defensive, not very big, a decently sized one, defensive as well, up here to defend against any pushes that we might see into these flags, which we do see, of course, by Solaufein. Although not super aggressively. He only sends one unit in here and one unit in here. Yeah, the Strostrup, of course, tries to go put something there for defense. There's something here, which you don't see very often. I don't know what that is. A recon. And an AT gun. An AT gun and recon. Okay, you don't see AT guns in here very often, right at the start at least. And then I guess this is either going to push massively here or through here into that flag. So he doesn't even try to push in here. Okay, so he does, yeah. But big deployment here, so I guess he just tries to push both flanks. And then Solaufein, Dragotango, a bit more defensive on this side as well. And I think with that we can start it. So this is one of the issues that you can run into with the red side, right? You then try to deploy heavily here to defend these flags, and blue side doesn't need to push. It's an easy place to push, but you can also try to play the 3D chess game and push somewhere else, right? And yeah, then red ends up, if red tries to contest this heavily, red ends up with a lot of units here that are not really necessary. It looks like Solaufein is doing just that, and he decides to go for the flanks instead. I would argue that Solaufein definitely has enough CQC to contest the flanks, that's for sure, against the Soviet division. But he also has good tools for the center. I would definitely say that he's at an advantage here in terms of the division. I might be wrong because I am not that much of a Soviet player. So I'm also maybe underestimating Tyurina a bit. That is 100% an option. But I would definitely say that Harteneck is a bit of a better choice here. Also, the one that you might want to ban. Probably. I also don't know who had first and who had second pick here, so that makes it a bit harder. Strostrup here will, of course, be forced off, so the flamers here will pay off. We have a lot of recon distributed everywhere, though. Actually, not. We have none in the church tower here. 13-11 early on for Solaufein as he grabs this flag, as we would have assumed. That's definitely a problem for Dragotango. But we haven't seen many trades and many big engagements yet, so that is still subject to change. But of course, Dragotango wants to get a comfortable lead either in trades or tickets early on, as he will have to fight against the Maverick Income we face. 250 mils here being unloaded, nicely just pre-firing this area. Tanko might not be able to get out of it in time. Oh no, it might have been able to move forward, but it actually stops right in that. That's very unlucky, and now it is pinned. Infantry starts moving forward, armor starts moving forward. There's a lot here, and Drago is not ready for that. He's reinforcing with a T-34, so I guess he's seen all of this and realized that he has to go more defensive. But he has to make something happen right now. And down south, he actually has the advantage, but he didn't do anything with it, right? He has a lot of units that are just sitting around here. Now, Solaufein has decided to push against it instead with his Strostrup and Reitjäger. 250 mortars coming in. I mean, you should pair them. They're really hard to beat. They're already hard to beat on their own. But you have two of them going after infantry. You can also just cover everything where something might be hiding. The half-track here could be a problem, but there is a Panzerschreck already there. Solaufein doing a great job of using the Panzerschrecks aggressively. Of course, you don't want to lose them unnecessarily, but it is very useful to use the Panzerschrecks at the start already. To have them ready and not call them in when you encounter a problem, but to have them there, yeah, when you encounter it. That definitely makes a big difference. T-34 getting called in here in the defensive position. I don't know what Stroke SVTs are doing. I guess they just want to cover this. Yeah, make sure that you can't just push through. Yeah, I'm here though being very careful. The problem is this Stealth KDP will probably need to push like somewhere over here to just make sure that the forest area here is safe. And then you might be able to start pushing forward with those. Now with Hetzers coming in, that's going to be a problem there. The 45 mil could definitely pen it with the APCR, but you need to turn it on. More infantry coming in. Not sure if this is needed here, but you could definitely, with the Flamer and a Strelk SVT, you could start pushing forward. Though the Strelk SVT will probably still lose out against the MP44 if it tries to push out in the open there. Up north, 50 mil, still doing 50 mil stuff. Though without much success currently. Flamer finds a Panzergren here to bully. T-34s have now arrived. And the Panzer who is also going after that T-34, which is falling back. Oh no, it is not. It looked like it did, but never mind. Gets pen once. Pens in return though. Oh, it is falling back. And unfortunately for Drago, his armor fails to get the kills. He also has to be careful because of the Panzerschreck, but it has not been revealed yet because the 50 cal half-track has not yet been engaging. Tango being called in, that's a good choice here. You can definitely hold that force. The problem is the Hetzer here might snipe that. So SVT also coming in. Down south, yeah, not a lot of aggression from Dragotango. He really needs to do something. Because right now he's basically giving Solaufein all the initiative. And he hasn't, like, we haven't seen any super poor trade. I mean, yeah, he lost that one Tanko, but that's really it at this point. But, well, no, Hetzer can't aim. It's just slightly off here. It will probably need to be sitting like here, where I can actually see the reinforcement road properly. Very lucky there for Dragotango. There's two now coming in. Can he even see that Hetzer? I don't think he can. I mean, you can check, but I mean, maybe as a trophy. Yeah, I think the Strelk KDP probably saw it. We don't actually need to check. Never mind. But yeah, I mean, look at that. Solaufein now gets to call in more armor here. Drago really needs to put some pressure onto Solaufein somewhere. But Solaufein is doing the pressure all right. Especially as balanced, I do feel like you want to be aggressive early on so that, as I said, you can... I mean, you either turtle in and trade well, which is currently not happening, or you just push and make sure that you get some ground, are in a good position so that your opponent needs to focus on getting you out of those positions that you took first before he can actually start grabbing some of you flags. That's kind of how you want to do it as a balanced player, in my opinion. But currently nothing is happening of that sort. I mean, the CIS2 here... Oh no, CIS2 can't do anything. No, my bad. Would need to be a CIS3 to deal with that. Other M4. Yeah, the M45mm is probably not needed. This one will do the trick. But yeah, 50mm is now in. Doing the work. 45mm. Ah, spots only the Hetzer, not the T-34 here. Or the Panzer III. Now it spots the Panzer III. Fails to kill though. Spalling. That's a start. APCR has been turned on, but is wasted on the Panzer III. Oh no! Bounces. Wow. Super unlucky there. Strelk KDP just getting wasted. And I think all of these will probably start opening up on their pool 45mm. No. Recon tank goes down. Maybe they can't see that anymore after that. But now all the armor is here. And now you would really wish you had a Panzerfaust or anything like that in here. Which is not the case. Panzerschreck, sorry. One Panzer III down, so the 45mm doing is what it's supposed to do. T-34's coming in. I mean, up close, the Hetzer is not unpennable, especially if it has to go around here first. PF-109 being called in probably to strafe that. It's a bit of an overkill, I feel like. Still nothing happening in the center up north. The armor has been retreated past the hill, I guess because he lost that forest bit here. And that's the problem. I mean, he has to wait now for 40 points to call in 2 Tankos, which he could buy for 25 points. So, I'm not a huge fan of that, honestly. I'm really not. And now he will not be able to even defend. I mean, if he could sit here, he might be safe from some Panzerschrecks, I think. I guess that's what he's afraid of by pulling the armor back. Because, I mean, he has to be careful here because of infantry in this forest patch. But still, I'm very much... Because now it's sitting here, it can't engage. Like, either you move it somewhere else and try to push something. Because right now it's just sitting here, it can't fight. It's actually in a danger spot because Panzerschreck could now move forward and Kill it like that. Down south, by the way, push still going. It's kind of hard to go back and forth. Another 45 million. Not being able to do the job. The armor is now moving up, engaging. That's risky, but he did not get hill pressure, which is lucky. 38, T-34 finally goes down. Panzer 3 should generally struggle against these two. Maybe less so against T4, but T-34 should definitely be in a better position here. Although they failed to bend, never mind. Panzer 3 goes down. Drago now getting his tankos in. They should be able to win that, I don't think. Actually, I haven't checked. Yeah, they do have shock. I thought they had, but I just had to double check real quick. But yeah, because I mean, this is still a problem. The tanko can still do a bit of work because of that. Kostrup got the Molotov off first. Tanko managed to kill it, but very suppressed. Dragotango now going down and surrendered. Okay, SVT's coming in. We do have a tank buster. That's probably going to get the kill here. There we go. T-34 goes down. That's big. We have a Yak-9 coming in. BF-49 is being called back. That's a major mistake. I mean, he could have gotten on the back of the Yak-9, of course. Or maybe he would have been killed by the 50 cals. Oh, that is a possibility because the Yak-9T could kill it now. It does. Loadout is... Oh, don't get to say. I think it's 137 mil, which does a lot of damage. So the armor blob here has been softened up, but now we still have two T-34 76, so they can definitely deal with the 38T. Now if Reitjäger MP44 being stuck using the rifles, which is not what you want, they should lose against the Strelke DP. Neither providing, bringing them to a nice double vet. More Reitjäger coming in. 38 has spotted them. Still nothing happening in the center. Now you have a Panzergren coming in. So Solaufein's push here running into a brick wall by the looks of it. Tanko is pushing across here. The problem is they can't really cross easily here, and the 50 mils are still here. So he needs some line infantry too to support that, and he probably will need one of them to be able to walk through here. Two T-34s coming in. Yeah, I mean, why not? Get armor superiority here again, but he needs to be careful with the 38. The Hetzer, it is of course in a position to snipe that road. 1410 now as the southern flag falls to Solaufein. And looks like one of the T-34's Vetkas died either to the Panzerfaust from the Reitjäger or to the Hetzer. I guess the Panzerfaust? Yeah, it looks like it. This thing is pretty annoying. 45 mil on the run, and now Drago's C-phase heavy build in terms of CQC being punching. Oh, actually, no, we're in B phase, so yes, Sturmoviki rocks, of course, they can definitely do the trick here. I was gonna say he will struggle otherwise. Do you have a 105 off map coming now? The 105 off map is not fantastic, but it is relatively cheap, and for pinning it will do the trick. And this is all you need, right? At the end of the day, if you can follow it up. Now you have a center push forming with a Stu 42, a Tiger, and two line infantry units. I mean, this is fantastic. I mean, these are great line infantry, and then except for the fact that they don't have AT, but in this matchup that's okay. I suppose. And of course, with a Tiger and a Stu 42, this is very well secured. Might still want to take some AA sooner or later, but I don't think Dragotango is in a spot where he can really afford it yet. But at the moment, he can, but he's getting pressured hard up north and down south, and Solaufein is building up a center push as well. I think the south here, it has been expensive for Solaufein, but he's made it work. And I think the problem is going to be, since Solaufein is definitely more CQC heavy, he should have more tools than Dragotango. And yes, the 50 mil mortars, he might be able to win it in his favor as well. Although we do get triple star Sturmoviki rocks now. L2KR coming in to spot. 25 mil going after the Hetzer. Don't think he can kill it, but at least who can. Off map going down now. Actually on his own right, yeah. That's maybe not what he wants, but he will pin the Sturmoviki rocks, I guess. Up north, the trades also have not been super good, but it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell, to be honest. Solaufein is dominating in terms of grabbing flags, but on the map, it seems like it's still relatively equal. Might be wrong, though. I don't know why the Yak 9T has been called in, but I would say when it comes to the not the meta, the macro game, I think Solaufein is doing much, much better. Looks like he has a sound plan of where he wants to push and how he wants to develop the game, especially with the center now being built up. He also called in the artillery support that he needs to make this work. Where he had to play there, we do have an SU-85 now coming in to react to that. And I think this is the common, this is the general theme of this game so far. Solaufein is very proactive, pushing, trying to find opportunities, trying to... Oh, yeah, you don't want to... Oh, gets a kill. I mean, the Yak 9T is not that great, but if you don't want to head on the L2KR, this thing will kill you. But yeah, he has been very proactive. He's very much been trying to find opportunities to find ways to push, places to push, enabling new pushes. And Dragotango has been very reactive, pushing back a little bit where he has been pushed, but not super. I mean, look at that. There's so much here, and he's not using it in any way or form, right? He could push into that forest and try to build up some pressure there. He knows that things are right in here. So he could either bring some artillery to soften that up. He has brought the mortar. It has been going after something. I don't know what, though. I think, yeah, the Strasser probably. Which is reasonable. You want to get, if you can... You want to get rid of that grab here, if possible. It's an easy flag that you can easily re-grab, and blue cannot as easily get it back. But you also have this. He should be realizing that he probably has some push potential here. I mean, he has a lot of units here. He has a lot of armor here. He has some infantry, just needs to use it. And he knows exactly where things are because of the front line here. Right, but he's just not pushing. So this is definitely not a good sign. Now, that's how he's making progress. So, as I said, he doesn't do a bad job of getting back in. But what's this actually? There's 75 millimeters of armor. Okay. He's not doing a bad job of pushing back in and defending, but he's leaving all the initiative to Solaufein, and this is never a good thing. You always wanna be able to share the initiative with your opponent. And now Solaufein got a kill here. I don't know what used to be in there. But the Hussar Goli something is now grabbing the flag here, and it will win against the Strelka DP if the Strelka DP tries to push forward. Oh, and heads up play there. 81mm support already. Tiger versus SU-85. SU-85 cannot return fire yet. Solaufein, Dragotango trying to fall back. SD2 trying to aim on the transports, I guess. Misses though. L2KR providing more recon. So still no AA. Actually, no, we have AA here down south now. We do have AA here by Dragotango. But not a lot of AA so far. 59 for Solaufein though, and we are approaching slowly the end of B phase. So that's definitely not a good sign. If we already have 59. We have to remember, Solaufein has been taking down Dragotango the entire time so far. So Dragotango really needs to step up here and try to get some flags back. As we said, or even grab a new one, right? Up north, it's not looking too bad. We see the push finally happening. Tanko pushing forward, supported by the half-tracks. I'm just now pushing forwards here, but we have a lot of half-tracks and armor here that's just not pushing. I'm not really sure what he's waiting for. All of that could be supporting that push. That flag could be very, very soon. And look, I mean, yeah, it looks like more than it actually is because of the half-tracks, but still, the forces here would definitely be able to grab all of this. These two flags should go to Solaufein, to Dragotango if he actually pushes. He could start pressuring this one and make sure that Solaufein can't just continue to do whatever he wants down south and in the center. Will start being fired at. These two are currently in a safe spot from the Stu-42 and by the looks of it from the Azats MG as well. That's definitely great. Raikozakin here being pushed forward a little bit too aggressively. Under fire now. Also here against Strelka DP, this is of course not a good fight for the Strelka DP. SU-85 being called in there as well. I guess to go after the Hetzer, if he even knows that's there. He might, the recon might have let him know, probably. More AA now coming in for the center. That's definitely a smart choice. And some up north as well. Although, if that's gonna stop the P2, I'm not so sure. I mean, yeah, I think Drago should really just continue with this push at the moment. He would probably be able to grab this flag, as we said, and then he might even be able to make two pressure on this. One of these will probably pen the Hetzer here. Wouldn't be too worried about that. He might even show side armor depending on how things go. But that might actually work out here. Oh, he has hill pressure too, looks of it. There we go, first pen bouncing a little bit, is falling back, Solaufein isn't noticed. This Hetzer here, I don't know what it spots. But yeah, now for Solaufein, of course, he can try to secure this for sure, then he will probably not lose that flag super easily. I mean, and by the looks of it, he actually does that. He might be able to just push into here, and he tries. You have a nice little build up here by Drago, but he can't engage at the moment because of the Tiger. He needs to find a way to get close enough to the Tiger. Going through here might work. He opens himself up to the Stu, but the Stu can only use heat shell at the moment at that range, so that might actually work. But he needs to find some angle to engage that, and then gain the initiative back in the center. Of course, Solaufein, as we said, can just try to push in here. I think down south, maybe with another off map or something like that, he might be able to do more. But it looks like the off map actually died, question mark? And we only got that one salvo. That's definitely not ideal. Oh, interesting. I have not even considered that, but yeah, he could definitely try to push back into here. If he suspects, which it looks like he does, that there is not that much here actually. It's not an unreasonable assumption, knowing that Drago has invested quite a bit down south and is pushing hard up north. Off map going down up north here. I mean, it is very affordable, that's the advantage of the soft map. Shumaviki rocks though, and Tanko's now just pushing through. Half-tracks being super annoying, pushing through as well. Might get stopped here by a deep panzer track, although they're running low on ammo anyway. Still enough to do damage and suppression. There we go. 13-11 now for Solaufein only. If this Tostrup goes down, that's actually 12-12. The Drago, it is just coming very late, but he is doing what he needs to do. He does the push. But there we go. Right, taking MP44 getting in. And there's only Strelka DP here. After is now being called in as we are in C phase. A push here by the right Jäger MP44 is stopped by the armor blob here. Currently nothing that Solaufein can do. He might be able... No Panzerschreck coming in. Maybe he's also used all of his Panzerschrecks. One was up here. And I'm not sure if this is the same one or if this one died. I think we have an... Nah, actually, I don't think we have seen one down south. We might still have 2 or 3 of them. We have a commander in the center. Wow, okay. Triple star 20 mils, 2 of them now. That can actually... That will shred. More armor through the center. The center is not really a strong point. I don't think he... Well, having one tank here to kind of help is certainly a good idea. I'm not sure if he really needs more than that. Our blob here doing the support. He's doing a good job at trying to push back in. I think maybe some mortars to help would not be a bad thing. Then he might be able to re-grab some of these flags. Also, this one's still sitting there silent. He could go after the Stostrup there. That would be a very smart choice. But it's not happening at the moment. Oh, Stu42 Panzer Strelka DP as they spot the Grenadier DP. It's not going to end up well for the Strelki. Stu42 probably wipe that. No, not yet. We will just do it soon. 45 mil has been spotted. Mortars are already going after them out of radio range, but still they can do it. Now we see the 82 mil mortar back in action going after it. Another off map coming down, but I think it's a little bit too late. That hill here is now lost. So Drago just needs to secure one flag and he can stop the bleed, and then he can slowly start thinking about how he wants to push back in. And if you look at the map, there's a little bit more blue, especially when you consider prices of some units, but I don't think Drago has traded horribly at all. Recon coming back in, but now there's I think on every part of the map. That's not as easy anymore. Aftos here should be able to overwhelm all of those. There we go. Strelka DP should stop the Kozakin, but they can't affect the front line anyway, so that might be the 12-12 that Drago is so desperately needing. Because the clock is ticking for him. He has 7 minutes left at this time. So it's not and he has already regrabbed this one. There we go. There is the 12-12. But he needs to secure this flag now. It is not secured yet. Tango could just move up and... Well, this can also do the trick. I don't think the Grenadier DP can do it. He has one PPSH, but... I mean, it is very suppressed, but still. If this adds up just enough with the rifles, it would be very unfortunate for Drago. You could support with another one, but it's not happening. No, DP wins. Ah, that's so rough. Surrenders a Tanko. Now we have a row of Aftos coming in and Strelki. So that will definitely do the trick there. But reinforcements for Solaufein are already coming. And Solaufein is about to re-grab the flag down south. So Drago really needs to find another flag. Ideally this one. But now the push here by Solaufein is throwing to be fruitful. And he actually gets a 13-11 by re-grabbing this. So 7 minutes to go once again. Question is, can he take Dragotango down enough, or can Dragotango stop things in time and turn things around? I mean, even if he remains at 1 minute, he still has 20 minutes to turn things around, and a massive income advantage for that too. So if we get to see that, or if it happens earlier, Dragotango will still have plenty of time. It's not like... So that's definitely not going to be an issue. But Solaufein has a good build-up of support weapons here. We have the Stu-42, we have 2 80mm mortars being resupplied as well. We have hatches in many places, which is a problem for Drago, right? In order for him to actually push past them, he might need some help with some AT guns, some CS2s, for example. The Su-85 is not the worst tool against it. It can definitely do the trick here. But of course, the Hetzer has a better chance of penning the Su-85 than the Su-85 has to pen the Hetzer. Look at the armor difference, 105 versus 70. Not ideal for the Su-85. Su-85 is cheaper though. Still fighting down south. This is currently what makes a 13-11 as Drago has re-grabbed his flag, although it looks like from the pinning he's about to lose it again. There we go. It's going to be 14-10 even. No, stops just before the flag. So I guess this is where it's at the moment. BA-10 now. We actually see BA-10 now coming in. Surprised that we see them this late. These are actually pretty nice. I mean, it's not, the DT is not the machine guns of machine guns, but it is decent enough. It can definitely do the work. And oh, Su-85 here is gun jam. I guess we get the ammo to repair that. It might be needed against the Hetzer here. Of course, you can also deal with the VK, so that's why it would be nice to have that around. Mortar here going after Strelki DPs. Yeah, I mean, Drago needs to resupply this, I think. Reinforce this, otherwise he might lose this entirely. Although it looks like Solaufein is not going to be able to continuously push there again. This flag regrab 13-11 still as Solaufein regrabs the one up north. T-34 coming in here. There's reinforcements coming on Drago's side though. Afters here unfortunately being in a spot where they can be spotted by the machine gun units and tanks outside of the forest. I can relate to that. I often put my CQC units in a little bit too far to the edge of the forest where it can get spotted, and I'm also every time annoyed when it gets shot somewhere else when I work so hard to try and use them to get back in somewhere or to defend the place. But you really need to be careful with where you put them. I feel like there used to be another Hetzer, so it might have gone down, but this one now gets a gun jammed on the T-34. The other T-34 kills the VK. Now going after the Hetzer. Hetzer will get the first shot off though. T-34 runs away, crew panic. S-85 engaging. He should probably wait for this to recover, and then he can, you know, do one big push. After those come in, a massive block, but no line infantry, and the MP-44s will shred that. There's nothing that these can do. S-85 slowly turning. The Hetzer has not spotted it yet. There's no infantry that is spotted. Then is this spotting the Hetzer? Yeah, it is. Gets a pen. Wow, super unlucky for Drago. Crew killed. The Hetzer being able to remain alive and do whatever it wants. That could have been a deciding moment down south here, because right now it's not going to be easy for Drago to get past that Hetzer. And he worked so hard. He got even the first shot off and everything. Now we have rows of Strelky DTs coming in. As you realize that just having the CQC here is not enough. Yeah, I think you really need to make sure that you can kind of get both. Or SU-85 goes down. Hetzer here dominating. Something else just died here. Oh, an Opel Blitz got killed probably by the 45mm here, I have to assume. With the Tiger and the Stu-42 being pulled back, I think Drago should try to get back in here. There are definitely angles where he can approach it now. Of course, there's the SIS-2 here, as is 3 to capture, but this should be spotted if Drago he just needs to move from one infantry forward just to see what's here even, or bring the IL-2KR for a brief moment just to spot what's here. He is missing out on so much. Of course, he doesn't know, but you really need that vision. We can check actually. He doesn't see anything in the center. He doesn't know that nothing is here. Some recon, like just something in here and moving something forward in here would tell him that the center is actually not in a... Nothing in the center is placed in a way they can actually do something. He actually only sees this right here. Now let's see what Solaufein knows. Yeah, Solaufein also doesn't know that much actually. It might also need to work a little bit more on his recon, but Dragotango really just missing on... And he has so many units. I mean, he has 2 SU-85s here. He has the T4s. He has a lot of infantry here together with the T-34s. He has a SIS-2 still. And nothing of this is actually being used. So this is a major... Like, either he needs to shift those somewhere where they can actually be useful, or he needs to push in the center now. Like, just having them sitting there is a major mistake. He needs to start fighting back now. He needs to get into the offensive. He's done so great up north, but he's struggling now. After those pushing across, man, that's a little bit ballsy maybe, but it seems to work. We can't really complain about that. But I think MP44 getting involved now that after we lose. No support here whatsoever. That's not a deal. And 13-11 again for Solaufein. Yeah, Dragotango, like in terms of things on the map, Dragotango would have the tools to ensure the 12-12 remains. And to maybe even get the 13-11 right now. But he's just not using them, or they're in the wrong spot. It's painful to see. It's so painful to see. Now again, I do understand it. Especially the not seeing things right here. I find myself in the very same situation very, very often. So not trying to blame him there, but it is painful to watch. There's so much stuff there, and it's just not being used. Oh, after he gets wiped. I mean, yeah, 3 MP44, right there MP44, and if all of them get to throw the Molotovs, that's pretty strong. Now, once they're out of Molotovs, they're a lot less scary. Still MP44 is still powerful, but not nearly as strong as they would otherwise have been. Another Panzerschreck now coming in. So, yeah, there are definitely more Panzerschrecks. We also see another one up north. I don't think this is the same one from the start. Maybe it is. It would be pretty cool if that was. T4 here, probably going to get killed now by the Panzerschreck. Down it goes, Strelky DP, trying to get the kill there. Any moment water going after the wrist there, back to 12-12. So Dragotango doing a good job at just holding on. Oh. SU-85 gets the kill on the 38T. So maybe this is the point where things slowly start turning. Afters here should be able to win against the MP44 now. Yeah, look at that thing melt. Look at that thing melt. Panzerschreck might kill 2 tanks here, which would be absolutely devastating. Here, you need to send infantry before your tanks. Infantry is now coming in, but the tanks are still moving. I mean, if the afters win that engagement, not SU-85 coming in, it's not what you want, but maybe that actually already works, even though one or both of these might go down now. 44 is going to go down, still 12-12. Up north, we see another counter push here. The armor is definitely missing. Oh, the SU-85 here died. I think we had another one in here as well. That's a problem. Armor support is needed. 13-11 again for Solaufein. But Drago might be able to push the south. Wow, Panzerschreck really killed both tanks. Ah, yikes. SU-85 now needs to turn. SIS-2 might be able to save the day and kill the Hetzer in time. Hetzer goes down, S85 now pushing Strelki versus Reiter Führer. It has 4 MP44s versus 9 Mosins. Yeah, that's not a good fight for the Strelki. Definitely not. We do have more Strelkis coming in, and some Aftos. And Recon again. But yeah, center push. This would be grabbable. 82 Mimori can still go after the Stostrup. He did the right call, try and go after it initially, and then it just stopped. And it's such a shame. He could have gotten this flag back so much earlier. 2 minutes left. He needs to turn things around now. Oh, another tank lost to Panzerschreck. Oh, that's so bad. I think he kind of needs that. There's no tanks coming here though, so maybe the infantry dominance can do. But he needs to do something with it. Up north, Panzergran DP versus Strelki DP. Now the problem is these guys have 1 PPSH. These guys have 0 PPSHs. So that's actually fight in favor of the Grenadier DP, weirdly enough. Tons of Strelki DP just sitting, not being able to do anything. Oh, T34 here versus Stug. This T34 also getting involved. 2-on-1 they might be able to do that. There we go, Stug goes down. Good kill there for Dragotango. Still center. Everything is in a defensive position. Dragotango could easily try to push for his flag again. Maybe even grab this one. Maybe even swing back here. This, of course, would be a little bit of a stress because Tiger can just move forward. But at least these two would be contestable. 1 minute 30 left. Drago needs to make it happen now. He's pushing hard here. He has a lot of units. Just needs to make it happen somehow. In 2 mil mode going after right dagger there. I think this is the wrong call. He needs to focus on flags now. So this is where he wants to go after. And this flag still, this hurts. I mean, if you have enough Strelki DPs, they will eventually win. Aftos now are coming in. We have another blob of Strelki DPs pushing it. The problem is you need Aftos to win against the right again. But he might get overwhelmed now. D34 from Dragotango gets the first pen. That's huge. But still pretty much if he bounces, gets the kill. Did the DP get the kill? He might have. He might have. But it's only 37 seconds left. This is going to be a very close call. And because all of these are Aftos. Now there's Strelki DPs in there as well. Why doesn't he push? Just move forward, man. Q move forward. You need to grab the you don't have time. You need to grab the flags. Everything just needs to be moving forward. This is gonna be so close. Or you might lose another T34 here to Panzerschreck. There's no armor here. Yeah, and these get spotted by the Stug from the side. He gets the flag, but the Panzerschreck gets the kill. 8 seconds left. Might be enough to stop it. 4, 3, 2, 1. No, it was not enough. And Solaufein takes game 1. Very well played by Solaufein. I mean, he did a good job at finding the initiative. And look at that. He was out-training Dragotango a little bit. But that's okay. Like, Dragotango could have been able to equal it out. It was really just a lack of initiative on his side. And initially, and then not going for flags well enough. And yeah, kind of having a lot of tools sitting idle in the center. I think that was what was the game deciding moment here. I really think that if Dragotango had, that's not to say that the Solaufein might not have been able to grab some flags. I think that still could have happened, but it would definitely have been much harder for him had Dragotango actually tried to use his armor to get in the center to do some plays and actually get some ground back there. In chronology, I mean, we had a generally very slow start with not that many engagements. They were definitely in favor of Solaufein. That's undeniable. And then things started to clear up a little bit for Dragotango. Actually got a very good run here. Look at that. Then, of course, with the Maverick King come a little bit more on Solaufein's side, but not super decisively. And then here, I think he dominated for a bit. But we also have to remember that, of course, a lot of Dragotango's tools are a bit cheaper than those of Solaufein. So some things that Solaufein killed So us seeing more blue here doesn't necessarily mean that it was going terrible for Dragotango there. This is what I'm trying to get at. Now, as for the kills, 45 mil doing some good work, of course, on T34s. The armor did well. Look at this thing, guys. Actually killed a lot. Another one here. So T34s definitely did a lot of good work for Drago. And then, of course, afterwards, it just basically just infantry pushes. I think that was another big mistake, not having enough. He used a lot of tanks initially, and then he kind of didn't use them that much anymore. Just spammed the infantry. And more combined arms might have helped there, but also not losing so many. He lost too many tanks because he rushed them forward without any infantry support. Now on Solaufein's side, the Hetzer, yeah, the armor also did a lot of work. The ME410 killed 2 T34s, which is pretty nice, but then unfortunately for him, he got killed. 81 Mortar did some work too. Stu 42, provide diagram for MP44, of course, an absolute beast. Those are great unit. Wow, look at that 20 million. I've not even noticed that. Killed so much infantry. So I guess that was all CQC infantry that just pushed too far forward. Then it's just a lot of units that traded if cost efficiently. Yeah, that just traded up in total, killed more than they were worth. Yeah, and then look at that Panzerschreck. 3 kills here. This one also 3 kills. I think if this unit had not died to Panzerschrecks, Dragotango might also have been able to turn things around in time. But yeah, great game. Which means we can next go to game 2. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day and see you next time.